Welcome back to another episode of Sunvalley Indigenous on Sunvalley News. Today, we're talking with an Indigenous facilitator who's working on starting a fathers group, and we're going to introduce him shortly. Justin, thank you so much for joining us. Not even going to bother saying or introducing you. I'm going to let you do it because I think you're going to introduce yourself much better than I can.
Well, thank you so much for having me on your show. I'll say my name is Justin Young, Pinisegajik Dishnikaj Kinuto Dem. My Indian name is Thunder Sky. My clan is Eagle. And I've been living, learning, healing, and self-developing and loving life here in Tecumloops, Tissaquepmic, the unceded territory of the Secwepemc people. I've been here for 18 years, loving and learning, being myself, and really creating the life I really want to live. So it's an honor to be on your show today. Thank you so much for having me. Um,
Yeah.
Today,
Yeah, so
yeah.
I wanted to learn a little bit about your father's group that is actually happening tonight. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, for sure. So I've been doing the Fathers Group with this organization in Kamloops called Lima Chif, or also LMO. It's a Métis organization that is just doing such beautiful work in this community, and many community really doing amazing work. So I was invited in to be the Father's Day facilitator. Um, Not Father's Day facilitator, Father's Group facilitator. So
One of those
I'm
days.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. They had asked me to support and create the Fathers Group as we had a wonderful facilitator previous. His name was Patrick Savard. And he's just asked for someone else to step in and do it for a little while as he's getting tired. He's got lots on the go. So I've been doing it now for almost 3 months. We've been hosting it every evening. We used to have it in person, but of course the COVID-19 was not allowing us to do that. So we switched it over to Zoom. Um, so tonight we're going to be talking about what it means to be a man. Well, and that's what the Fathers Group is all about. It's about men sitting together, talking about, who we are, what it is to be a father. What are we learning? What are we discovering? How are we feeling? What are we thinking? How are we creating? What are we doing? And I really love the idea of being with, because then we get to share with and then learn from each other. Right. And it's a safe space for healthy expression. It's a safe space for people to come together and just be who they are in that moment. We start off with a check-in, how you doing, 1 to 10. It gives us a gauge of the group and seeing where everybody's feeling and how they're doing. Then we get into discussion. Sometimes it's just teasing, joking, laughing around. Sometimes it's just spending time together. Other times it's really deep talk, real
Yeah.
good sharing, healthy expression in a safe manner with good people.
Yeah. Why do you think a group like this was needed? And can you tell us some of the advice that you give?
Huh. So, well, okay. The reason why I really got into doing this kind of work was my own healing. So about 4 years ago, I went through a really big separation that just awoke in me. Well, first of all, devastated me, put me into this really deep place of, oh my God, what is wrong with me? All these things, all these different things in my life were coming up. My own self healing, as a man, trying to figure out who I am. How do I even be a man? What do I do to become a good man? How do I even walk as a man? How can I talk as a man? How do I even be an Indigenous man? All these things. I was never grown up in a good way in foster homes and all that stuff. I would never had a dad growing up, so trying to be in relationships and really being the cause of a lot of the failures in the relationship. So I had to take a lot of accountability and look at myself, and I did a lot of crying, a lot of healing through this time, in the beginning of that, about 4 years ago, going through all that stuff. And a lot of times I was doing my healing on the mountains, really feeling on the mountains, around here to Kamloops to Secwepemc, feeling and healing on the mountains. And then the day that I went to the water, I went down to the water to go and pray there. And I was really feeling and healing there, letting go and really trying to ask, what do I do? how do I get through this? You know, because my old way would be to go drink and drug and get back to older ways of addictions and, you know, and just find a new girlfriend and just continue on with my life and, you know, end up in the same situation again. And I didn't want to keep doing what I've always been doing because I keep getting what I've always gotten. I'm not changing. So as I was sitting by the water, I really started thinking, you know, maybe I wonder if there's other men out there that are struggling. I wonder if there's other men that, well, what are they doing? I wonder how they get through things like this. I'm sure I'm not the only one. You know, and so I prayed about it, and then I thought about it. Maybe I should start a men's group. Maybe a men's group would be a good idea. You know, so I ended up posting it on Facebook. Hey, everybody, I'm really thinking about starting a men's group. And the funny thing was, you know, it was the post exploded with all these wonderful comments about, oh, that's a great idea. Oh, you should do that. Da, 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 da. And just lots of people commenting. And the crazy thing was, the funniest thing was, it was all women.
Okay. Oh, I thought you were going to say it was all men.
No.
Yeah.
Like
it was all
women
women.
taking their husbands. And like, you know, he'll come. Yeah. He needs this. You know? And then, you know, in those moments, I was really thinking, oh my God, like this is not what I want. I don't want this to be about ego. I don't want this to be about my ego. I want this to be about spirit. So I ended up deleting that post because it's not about that. I wanted it to be about spirit and connecting. So I ended up messaging men that are close to me and invited them. And what was really neat, the first group we had about 8 men show up. And so they all got there and they're like, so what are we going to do? And I'm like, oh man, you know, well, let's just get to know each other because I know each of you, but each of you don't know each other. Yeah. So we started with relationship building. And then the next group was more relationship building. Bring a friend, bring somebody with you. Next group was about, you know, what's your inner gift? Bring an item that helps you to look at your inner gift. Something that connects you to your inner self. You know, one man brought up,
Sorry. Have you seen a lot of change since you've started the group with the men and even with your own healing?
Definitely with my own healing. I feel like I've been learning a lot more about accountability, personal responsibility, taking action, stepping up, you know, creating and being willing to learn to create space that if I feel it's needed, then try to find a way to build it. Not really worrying about, you know, whether we have funding or a space, because you could meet in a park with a chair and everybody could bring their own snack. And we've done that many of times, you know, and it's just about just reaching out and asking for help. That was the biggest thing I learned in that, was that if you reach out and ask for help, there's people around that are wanting to be a part of. And, you know, that men's group was going really strong for quite a while. Then it kind of petered out. And then the fathers group came along, and it was the same kind of thing. They were asking if I would run a fathers group. And so it's been the same kind of way. It's just gathering fathers. And now we talk about more, not just being men, but also being fathers. Our responsibility as protectors, as responsibility as warriors, our responsibility as, you know, providing.
Justin, do you what sort of advice do you give, or what do you share as a father to other fathers who might be interested in joining the group?
Well, I don't know if it's so much about me giving advice. I like to ask questions. And I think a lot of us have our own answers, you know, and I don't want to go into a situation and try to tell people how to be. I like to go and be in a situation and be me. You know, and then through being me, I get to express who I am. And then I invite others to express who they are. Through that kind of way, we get to connect and hear and build relationship, build trust, build connection. And through that connection, then we're able to understand and hear each other. Through that understanding and hear each other, we teach each other, thus creating group wisdom.
That's awesome. So you also said that you also facilitate, you do a lot of other community work. Do you want to just share a little bit before we wrap up here about the other work that you do? Awesome.
Yeah, sure. So I've been, I started off as a youth worker about 10 years ago, working for a youth program. And then that program ended, and I ended up becoming a youth program coordinator right after that. So I ran a youth program, and then now I'm working for, it's all been with the school and district here in Kamloops, BC. Four Direction School is actually a school I graduated from back in 2002. And then so now I run the youth program there. It's called Community-Led Learning. And we work with urban Indigenous youth. We do a lot of fun activities. We've been doing all sorts of stuff in-house now because of COVID, but we have wonderful relationships. We have awesome trust. We have a beautiful connection. We enjoy ourselves. We talk real. We have good group, and then we have fun. And I also worked for another organization in Kamloops or not in Kamloops, an actually BC-wide organization called Construction Foundation, where I'm part of the All Roads team. And the All Roads team, we've been working with Indigenous communities throughout BC, supporting and creating space for adults that are wanting to build life, create dreams, follow their passion. We help them with supporting them with a roadmap so they get to build their own plans, and then we just guide them, support them, walk with them, inspire them, motivate them, sit with them when they're not doing all these different types of things. We've been doing a lot of online facilitating, doing group work on online. There's a carver that comes in, does carving. There's different teachings with different trade skills. Then I come in and I do a lot of the self-development stuff. So a lot of like sitting with and self-reflecting and, trying to figure out who we are as human beings. If we look at ourselves, we discover our gift, we find our gift, we live our gift, we share our gift, that kind of work. I love it so much.
Could be a song. Are you also a rapper? Just kidding. All right, well, that sounds awesome. You're definitely doing amazing work in our community. Now, if people want to follow along with you or get more information about your father's group or any of the groups that you're facilitating, where can they contact you or find out more information?
Awesome. Well, they could add me on Facebook. It's Justin Young Thundersky, or my email is walkofhealing@hotmail.com. And then, yeah.
All right. That sounds great. Well, thank you so much for chatting. And if people want to join the Fathers Group, it's just by link. Do they just message you to be able to join?
Yeah, if they want to join the Fathers Group. So I haven't been just posting the link. I just, so if anybody wants to join, yes, message me and I'll send you the link for tonight. It's at 6 to 8, from 6 to 8 BC time tonight.
All right. Thanks so much. That is right. We've been chatting with Justin Young, not to be confused with Justin Long. All right. Have a wonderful day. We'll be back again tomorrow with more Sunvalley